Man, your first car. It's gonna be something so special that will stick with you for a very long time. But you don't wanna blend in with all the PT Cruisers and Corollas in your school parking lot. Heck no. You need something slick, sleek, and cheap that'll make your dreadful drive to class just a little bit better. Well, I've got you covered, because today we're gonna go through 10 incredible ideal rides that'll give you a ticket into the car community, maybe even a ticket from the cops. Ask me how I know. Like, subscribe, and let's go. And real quick, we gotta thank today's sponsor, Mysterium VPN. But hold on, this isn't your typical VPN. Oh no. Mysterium VPN connects you to real IP addresses hosted by people all over the globe. We're talking over 135 countries and 20,000 plus servers, which means faster, more reliable connections wherever you are. And what sets Mysterium VPN apart is the privacy. Unlike traditional VPNs, they make it impossible for even themselves to see your browsing data. So your online activity, totally secure and private. Exactly what you want from a VPN, right? Plus, getting started is a breeze. It's literally 3 steps. Download the app, create an account, and hit Quick Connect. That's it. You're online and now protected. Now, let's talk pricing. Mysterium VPN offers flexible plans that won't break the bank. There's a 1-month plan at just $9.99 a month, a 6-month plan at $6.85 per month, a 1-year plan for $5.14 per month, and if you go all in with a 2-year plan, it's just $3.19 per month. Seriously, a great deal. Just head to mistvpn.net/ideal and use the code IDEAL to get that 15% extra. Now, I've also pinned in the first comment in the description. Thanks again to Mysterium VPN for sponsoring today's video. Now, back to the show. Okay, first on this list, you guys already knew it was coming. It's the Mazda Miata. I mean, come on, it's practically a rite of passage for car enthusiasts. This little guy is the OG for a reason. The Miata, or the MX-5 if you live in America and you're a smartass, is like the really short friend of yours that always is down to party, a short king, if you will. Now, depending on the generation, it has one of 3 small 4-cylinder engines, pushing out anywhere from 116 to 180 horsepower. And yes, it sounds like your mom's push mower is faster, but here's the thing. You don't need crazy power in this car. No, it's lightweight, rear-wheel drive, and about as tossable as, tossable gets. You're going to feel every corner, every shift, and every bump in the road. And that's quite literally the best thing that you can get out of this kind of car. And for the purpose of this video, since it's the first car that you're looking for, we're gonna go ahead and recommend the first 3 generations of Miata. And yes, we're gonna leave out the ND, primarily because it's more pricey than the older ones. I mean, the cheapest one that I could find was around 13,000 bucks, and you get pretty much the exact same wonderful driving experience as you would in a brand new one. Like, guys, check this out, a real nice NC for under $8,000. Plus, the older NB and NA, well, don't sleep on them because you can usually find them for much lower. Now, sure, it's not going to win you any drag races, but if you want to learn how to truly drive, Miata, well, it's your professor. Plus, most are convertibles. Drop the top, feel the wind in your hair, and look cool while doing it. Next up, we got the Toyota GT86. Oh wait, there's also a Subaru BRZ. There's another one. Oh yeah, I just bought it, the Scion FRS. Heck, I just bought one of these for less than 10 grand, and let's be honest, it is an ideal ride. But whichever flavor you end up with doesn't really matter because they're basically the same car. And all 3 of these machines are perfect first cars. If the Miata was just a little bit too small or, well, a little bit too cute for your taste, well, one of these 3 might be more your speed. All are rear-wheel drive, just like the Miata, but they pack a bit more punch with the 2-liter flat 4 pushing out 200 horsepower. That's a solid amount of power for a car that weighs as much as a feather. And the best part, these cars are built to be customized. Whether you want to turn it into a drift machine or just give it a slick look with some aftermarket mods, the Toyobaru triplets are like a blank canvas. Yeah, you can make them your own. Plus, they've got a little more practicality with back seats. Are they good for humans? No, but duffel bags, absolutely. And like I said, we actually bought the cheapest FRS that we could find, and the thing is an absolute blast. Go watch that video up here. As for pricing, these cars will be at the higher end of our list today, but they are worth every penny once you're behind the wheel. We found this BRZ that sold for just over 10 grand, but we got ours for under that. And if you want to find any of these ideal rides, we'll use the Auto Tempest link that I pinned in the first comment. let's go. All right, folks, yes, a four-season monster, the Subaru WRX. Some say it's played out, and trust me, if anyone's seen enough of these, it's me. I'm from the Pacific Northwest. Enough said. But it's on this list for a reason. It's a rally legend and perfect for the person who wants to have fun but also needs to survive rough winters or, power slides in the empty parking lot. The WRX, of course, comes with all-wheel drive, a 2-liter or 2.5-liter turbocharged engine with anywhere from 225 to 300 horses depending on year and spec. So, yeah, it is quick, and it sounds mean too. That boxer engine rumble will make your daily commute feel like you're heading to a rally stage. But if there is a downside, maintenance. Yes, the WRX isn't the most reliable car on this list, but if you do your homework on these cars and find one that hasn't been blown up and rebuilt 5 times or more, you and your buddies can wrench and fix these things no problem if something does go wrong. And the older ones, well, those are probably your best bet to be affordable, fun first cars. We found this 04 WRX with a 5-speed manual that sold for just $5,500. That is ideal. Now, Japan cars, they're great and all, and they're reliable, but some of you might want a little American muscle for your first ride. That's why our next pick is the C4 Corvette, the best, most affordable Corvette that ever was. Not only is the design a wicked cool piece of retro art, but it walks the walk with its big V8 engine, serious power output, and its genuinely awesome suspension. Now, is it the most practical choice for your first car? Tell your mom this, but maybe not. But you're an enthusiast. The look, the sound, the feeling of your car, it's much more important. And the C4, it delivers in all those departments. But let's be real, you will get your hands dirty. Like grease in places you didn't even know could get greasy type of dirty. These cars are old, which means stuff will break eventually. But it's a Chevy, and hello, American parts are cheaper than a school lunch. And the car itself, well, not too much more money than that either. We found this red beauty for $7,500, and one that needs a little bit more work will be cheaper. Okay, we're sticking with the muscle cars for a sec because up next is the 4th and 5th gen Ford Mustang. And why just those two? Well, the older ones are probably gonna be even more work than the C4 Corvette. And the newer ones, well, they're out of our price range. But no matter the generation, the Mustang is a classic. It's powerful, it is very loud, and has a whole lot of attitude. Yeah, you can snag the V6 version for super cheap, but 150 horsepower is more Miata friendly. The V8 though, that's the one that you really want for the full pony car experience. The 4th gen, also known as the Fox 4, made around 215 horse in the V8 form. And the 5th gen V8 cars made 300. More than enough to get you detention. Plus, the aftermarket scene for Mustangs is huge, like bigger than a gymnasium. Want to lower it? Done. Want a louder exhaust? Way too easy. The Mustang, it's a great platform for mods, and it's got that muscle car heritage that will never go out of style, unlike your boy's mullet. But you know what else won't go out of style? The dirt cheap entry fee. This 4th gen GT was only $5,500, and this 5th gen California Special, or I like to call it Cali, sold out the door for $9,000. And I guarantee you, if you search into the crevices of your local Facebook, you will find a GT for much less. All right, Mustang fans, you didn't think that I would leave out the Camaro, did you? Come on. I mean, whether you're Team Ford or you're Team Chevy, the 4th and 5th gen Camaros fill the same pony car sized hole that the Mustang does for this list. And just like the Stang, you can get a V6 model for both the 4th and 5th gen for really cheap. But the V8, that is where it's at. And depending on year and generation, you're looking at anywhere between 275 and 400 plus horsepower. Also, this baby's got the same gigantic aftermarket scene that the Mustang does, so you will have no problem finding parts, and even a whole freaking engine if you need it. Not to mention, the style of these cars is becoming more and more desirable these days. I know the 4th gen and its kissable catfish face might have once turned you off, but now? They are pretty slick looking in my opinion, and nothing else on the road quite looks like it. And that 5th gen, well, that's a piece of 2000s retro styling history right there. And the price, it's perfect for a first car budget. This 95 Z28 sold for just over $6,000. And this 5th gen, while it's more expensive, you're getting a lot of car for, well, the A+ credit price of $14,000. That's a lot, but if you want to learn how to buy them for less, well, check out the Ideal Car Strategies, which I've linked down to our free workshop below. You'll get it for less, I promise. And folks, I think it's time to shift gears into something with a bit more luxury power. Yes, the Lincoln LS. This is perfect for someone who wants a cool enthusiast car that not only can fit a bunch of friends in, but also win a drag race. This sleeper sedan packs a 3.9 liter V8 under the hood, pushing out 280 precious ponies. Not bad for a car that's basically a more affordable version of a BMW 5 Series. The LS is super comfy, has these timeless looks, and is one of the last great rear-wheel drive V8 powered American sedans. But the best parts? You can find these dirt cheap. Here's one that sold for $6,800, but you can def find one that needs a bit of work for much less cash. The LS. It's not a sports car, it's more of a sleeper sedan, and you know your boy can get behind the wheel of that. Now, while our last American pick might sacrifice some sportiness in favor of comfort, this next pick has the perfect mix of both. Now, I know you're thinking BMW, and you're thinking the E9X 335i with that German 2J motor, but those things leak, and you can snag them for a stellar price, but it's gonna cost you a lot of oil. But let me let you in on a little secret. I don't tell anybody this. This is the hidden gem in the 3 Series lineup. It's the BMW E46 330i ZHP. This car is essentially the 4-door M3 that they never made. It's got a naturally aspirated 3-liter inline-6 that sounds oh so good. More trick suspension than a regular 3 Series, body enhancements that look awesome, and an interior that screams performance. Alcantara, anyone? Yes. Personally, I think the E46 is the perfect balance of luxury and performance. You can daily drive it without sacrificing comfort, you can show up and look like you are somebody, but when you hit those twisty roads, this thing comes alive. Plus, the E46, it's just cool. There is a very good reason why this is considered one of the best 3 Series generations ever. And that's probably because there's only been like 5 or 6 generations, but this one's great. But fair warning, like most BMWs, it can be expensive to maintain. But if you're handy and you know a good mechanic, or you just want to do DIY YouTube mechanic stuff, this car can be a solid first choice. And they're still cheap as hell too. This 330i with the ZHP package, which is very sought after, sold for only $6,500. Next up, Nissan 350Z. Yes, this is the car for you if you want something Japanese, fast, and rear-wheel drive without breaking the bank. The 350Z has that legendary V6 and makes really good power for its value. It's got that classic sports car silhouette, and whether you're hitting up a drift event or just cruising on the highway, it just feels special being behind the wheel. Like the WRX and the BRZ, the 350Z is also a great platform for mods. Whether you want to upgrade the suspension, throw on some new wheels, or even boost it to the moon, the Z is a tuner car hero. And if you're looking for a first enthusiast car with some serious capability, might not be a better choice on this list. But don't stop watching, because this beautiful black example only had a tick of over 100,000 miles on it, which is getting pretty rare these days, and it sold for just $8,800. Now, this is the Swiss Army knife of pretty much all vehicles. It's the Volkswagen Golf. And if you're trying to play better than par for the course, this car might be the best mix of everything you could want in a cheap and fun first car. It's got room for whatever junk you want to fit in there, including my dirtbag friends. It came with a manual transmission. They have a huge aftermarket scene. The build quality is very good, and they tend to last forever if you treat them well. Plus, it's a hatchback, which is automatically cool, in my opinion. A base model is still a great first car to own, but if you can find a reasonably priced R32 with the VR6 engine or a GTI with the Turbo 4, that's definitely the way to go. And yes, they are cheap. This GTI VR6 with only 70,000 miles sold for just $6,600. That's an amazing car for the money. Trust me. So there you have it, Ideal Fan, our top 10 picks for the very first cars to own if you're a little bit of an enthusiast, or a lot. So what do you think? Which of these cars would you pick for your first? Which ones did we miss? Let us know in the comments below. And if you enjoyed this video, like, subscribe, turn on that notification bell, and check out these Ideal vids over here. I'm Brad, this is Ideal. We will see you next week, and promise me one thing, keep living the ideal lifestyle.